So while we were recording and editing this video, it was brought to our attention that LG Petrov from Entombed had passed away at the age of 49, likely from his cancer diagnosis. I don't know for sure. I haven't seen the full report, but the point being, LG Petrov, a true Swedish death metal legend, arguably the father of Swedish death metal, has passed away. And while there's not much I can personally do from here, I would like to dedicate this video to LG Petrov and Entombed and to his friends and family. Entombed are hardly the biggest death metal band in the world. Hell, if we're being entirely honest, they're not even the biggest Swedish death metal band in the world. But had it not been for records like Left Hand Path and Clandestine and Wolverine Blues, I think it's very safe to say that this vast and beautiful landscape of music that we call death metal would be vastly different. Rest in power, good sir. You have fucking earned it. Alright, on to the main video now. While everyone else has been freaking out over new mainstream rock records from the likes of Chevelle and A Day to Remember, I have spent this last weekend immersing myself in the strange and cold sonic universe of this surprise release from Krallice entitled Demonic Wealth. And in this particular instance, surprise release is one hell of a fucking understatement, because from what I understand, not only was this album released out of nowhere last Friday, it was also recorded completely, totally, 100% in isolation in a remarkably small amount of time. In fact, an official statement on Krallice's Facebook page makes it very clear that Demonic Wealth wasn't even ready for release until Wednesday, March the 3rd, 2 days before its March 5th release date. I would say that that's pretty goddamn impressive and pretty goddamn strange, and that would still be inherently true if I did say that, but I'm not going to, because it's motherfucking Krallice. And on some level, I can't say I'm shocked that they literally pulled an album of this quality out of their collective fucking assholes, as they have been responsible for some of the most inventive and unorthodox black metal of the past decade. In particular, their last studio album, Mass Cathexis, released only half a year ago, was an absolute mindfuck of the highest order. It's worth noting as well that project mastermind Colin Marston, as a songwriter, musician, producer, and in some cases all of the above, has been responsible for some seriously insane fucking material from a wide variety and palette of outside artists. I mean, he's worked with everyone from Gorguts to Liturgy to Panopticon to Imperial Triumphant, Agalok, Atheist, Origin, Artificial Brain, Immortal Bird, Defeated Sanity, you name them, he's worked with them. This dude has made a fucking career out of releasing incredibly ambitious and soul-crushing material. And for all of these reasons, it's incredibly difficult not to be very, 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 very excited for Demonic Wealth. Hence why I have spent so much time immersing myself in this album's bizarre little universe. And having done so, I can now proudly and confidently say, without a trace of hyperbole or irony, that this is Krallice's most bizarre and unnerving and powerful record to date. It is cold, it is harsh, it is unforgiving, it is uncompromising, it is angular, it is thought-provoking, it is genuinely challenging mentally at times. It is a fascinating blend of everything that Krallice have done so well over the past decade, with a newfound emphasis on second wave and atmospheric black metal, with its most aggressive moments reminding me of the fiery soundscapes of classic Watain, whereas its most ambient and atmospheric moments remind me of early material from Ulver and to some extent Windir as well. All the while, these very unorthodox and mesmerizing chord progressions and patterns and rhythms wriggle their way underneath the blackened chaos like a snake stalking its prey. Folds of Plasma, for instance, is a very slimy and declarative cut, immediately unleashing a barrage of raw and icy avant-garde black metal. Guitars practically shriek and roar above walls of crippling black metal percussion and very ambient droning synthesizers and keyboards. The overall aesthetic weirdly reminding me of a very raw and unpolished take on Blood Incantation. Similarly, Mass for the Strangled seems to find this beautiful bridging point between the realms of mid-90s Gorguts and Emperor, with this very classic kind of black metal sound and production, coupled with dizzying riffs and some really heavy, crippling musicianship. But truthfully, Demonic Wealth is at its best not when it goes for the jugular, but when it goes for the mind and for the soul, when it completely indulges in its more atmospheric tendencies and influences. Tracks like Dilution and Still and Sapphire are genuinely very hypnotic, very mesmerizing. It's hard not to find yourself in this very relaxed kind of trance, even when more aggressive elements are being brought into play. At times, it makes for a very psychedelic kind of experience, but at other times, I'm reminded of the very chilling, dark ambient and dungeon synth of late Burzum or Mortius. There's something genuinely kind of horrific about Still in particular. It has these very spacey keyboards and synthesizers contrasted with some very heavy, almost industrial beats and rhythms, and of course, some classic trad black metal flavor. Perhaps this is because I very recently rewatched Alien for like the first time in fucking ages, but I should point out I was weirdly reminded of the works of H.R. Geiger, in particular, the Xenomorph. I felt as if I was somehow lost in the empty, dark void of space, being hunted down maliciously and cruelly by one of these creatures. I'm frankly stunned by the production value of the record. I mean, it's raw, consistently, extremely, inarguably fucking raw. But it's never inaudible. It's never irritating. Everything is weirdly still pretty transparent. Everything is still weirdly visible in the forefront of the sound. Even when keyboards and synthesizers and harsh percussion and guitar work storms the sound, it never drowns out any other component of the record. Temporarily muddles, perhaps, but never outright buries. Something that I can't really say for a majority of trad black metal, often going for this very true, cold, raw kind of aesthetic. I genuinely kind of love this record, so I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5. This is an utterly hypnotic and immersive listen from start to finish. It completely captures your attention and your imagination. It is cold, it is stark, it is vicious, it will throw you to the fucking wolves if given the opportunity. And deceivingly, it's also weirdly inviting at times, almost as if it's saying, hey, go pet the wolves, go give them a doggy treat, they'll give you a big fucking kiss on the cheeks. And to be fair, they might, ever so briefly, but just know that that kiss will quickly evolve into a bite, which will quickly evolve into your neck in their jaw. It's especially exciting for me because, frankly, this record is comprised of a lot of elements that I would normally dislike in trad and atmospheric and second wave black metal, and yet I am completely invested in every single moment of this, to the point where I am really tempted to just stop the video right now and buy the motherfucking thing on vinyl. It's probably not going to be for everyone. It certainly wouldn't change your mind if you outright hated black metal, but if a fucking sourpuss like myself can dig into this, then I don't see any reason why you shouldn't at least give this a shot. 4.5 out of 5, an incredible record, one of the best black metal albums of the year so far, and Krallice quite literally pulled it out of their fucking ass. By God, does their shit smell glorious. And that is it for the Metal Meltdown. I'm not an expert, nor do I claim to be. So what do you think? Do you like this record? Do you not like this record? And what do you want to hear from me next? And thank you for watching. Make sure you press this button right here so you get updates on the Metal Meltdown fucking immediately. And as always, you have yourself a fantastic fucking day.